Hello. I know it's been it's been a minute, but I started a new job and I've been working a lot of hours and coming home really tired, getting up real early with the kids, and just it's been one thing after another. And so I haven't had, time to really make my videos, but I'm decided to make one now because I have a little bit of free time. I'm about to go to work, so I'm already dressed and everything for work. My hair's out of my face, all that for work, but I thought I'd make a video anyway. And I wanted to make that video dealing with the symptoms. I'm gonna basically list the symptoms that the physical symptoms that I have felt dealing with anxiety, just all the symptoms I've ever felt over the past 9 years that I've been dealing with this, and I'm going to discuss some of them, and just I guess give you a list and to kind of ease your mind, because I know a lot of us tend to think, why am I feeling this? Well, I'm dying, or something's wrong with me. I'm about to have a heart attack, or I'm about to stop breathing, or like me, I have those thoughts, or I'll have thoughts like, oh my gosh, I have a blood clot, I'm about to die like any second, or oh my gosh, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I'm always thinking really crazy, and all these little twinges and sensations and feelings that I get all contribute to those thoughts. Anyway, I thought I'd go ahead and start with I guess I'm gonna start with my very first panic attack, the first major panic attack that I had. I was pregnant. I was pregnant with my 5th child. I have 6 kids. But I was pregnant with my 5th, and I was pretty much about, I don't know, I want to say 7 months along, I think. I was probably about 7 months into my 5th pregnancy, and I was laying in, okay, I'm going to stop right there. Prior to this panic attack, I had been struggling through a lot, dealing with a whole lot in my life. I was going through a whole lot. I'm not going to go into detail, or I'm going to give basics, because I don't want to go into detail about anything. But basically, I was going through a lot dealing with my husband. He was putting me through a whole lot of stress. Nothing, no cheating or nothing like that, but he might as well have been, pretty much. But anyway, there was a whole lot of issues I was having to go through, or having to be silently struggling with. Like, it's stuff that I couldn't tell people, stuff I didn't want to tell my parents, stuff I didn't want to tell my sister, stuff I was just dealing with a lot, on my own, trying to make things work on my own, trying to be hush-hush about everything because it was embarrassing, and I didn't want to hear what people were going to tell me and all that stuff. So, but I had that I was dealing with that, had been dealing with that for a few years, actually. About 1.5 years, 2 years, before I had my first major panic attack. And then I also had a few months before, during those 1.5 years, 2 years, about 4 or 5 months before my first major panic attack, we were roommates with my best friend and her husband and their kids. We were all living in one big, place. And her husband, who was 26 at the time, ended up passing away. Well, he died of pneumonia at 26 years old. I had been talking to him just because we all lived together. I remember him laughing, playing jokes, whatever, like 2 days before, you know. And then all of a sudden he had pneumonia and nobody knew. And then one morning the ambulance was at our house, taking him to the hospital. And then a couple hours later, my best friend calls me from the hospital saying that he had passed away. You know, and I was there with they had 3 girls. I was there babysitting the 3 girls. This happened while I was pregnant with my 5th, but I was barely pregnant, but still, you know. And then a few months after that, my grandfather got real sick, and I had to rush to back here, as a matter of fact. I had to come to Corpus and visit him and see him in that state. And then, you know, he was in ICU, and seeing my grandma and like all this stuff. And then about a month after that, he passed away as well. Okay, then a couple of months later is when I had, or maybe about a month, it might have been about a month later, I had my first panic attack. Let me explain. The very first panic attack was, I had been snacking on some popcorn, and because I don't know why I would crave popcorn with slices of cheese when I was pregnant, but that's what I was eating. But anyway, I snacked on it. I was tired. I decided to lay down. Okay, I lay down on the couch just to take a nap. I had gone to sleep for probably about 15 minutes when I ended up waking up in a panic. I didn't know what was going on. I had never experienced this before in my life. So I shot up off the couch, and I couldn't breathe. My heart was beating like, oh my goodness, like it was about to come out of my chest. I couldn't breathe. I ran to the bathroom so I could vomit. I actually threw up, and then when I came out, I still couldn't breathe. And I finally was able to catch my breath a little bit at a time, and I started being able to breathe. But my heart rate was crazy. I was still felt nauseated. I was panicking like uncontrollably because I didn't know what was wrong with me. My skin, every single inch of my skin felt like it was vibrating. It felt like it was vibrating. I don't know how to explain it. And my mom, actually, she was there, and I told her, I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I actually called 911. And she felt my skin, and she told me she felt the vibrating, like it was really happening. It wasn't like it wasn't, you know. Anyway, it freaked me out. Of course, the ambulance came, got me, took me to the hospital, gave me all kinds of tests, you know, all that stuff. And basically they told me that I had a panic attack. And I was like, what? You know? And that's when I first was told I had anxiety. Okay. Now, those symptoms are typical symptoms pretty much. The whole you can't breathe, nausea, some people vomit. I have a friend who every time she has a trash can by the couch because when she's going into panic attacks, because she'll vomit. You know, the vibrating thing, I've heard that a few times too, with the skin. But okay, after that though, you know, I've had anxiety for a little while, and over the years, the symptoms have stayed the same. Some of the symptoms have stayed, and some have just changed, and some have, you know, it's been back and forth kind of thing. And at the beginning there, I was having full-blown panic attacks like daily. I would have up to, I would say 10 a day. It was horrible. I had to basically just lay down on my couch and have the fan hitting my feet, which was weird, but it calmed me down. But it was to the point where I couldn't even leave my house. I couldn't go anywhere. I was like, I would try going to like the store or something. Like I remember the first time after at the beginning there with when I started having the panic attacks, I remember going to I was gonna say HEB, Walmart. And when I went to Walmart, like within minutes of me being there, we had gone to the middle of the store, we had gotten our cart, we had gotten like maybe 2 items, thrown it in the cart, and we went to the middle of the store, and all of a sudden everything just, like, I felt like I was gonna faint, but it was more like an off balance feeling. Like I felt like the world was doing this, you know, or like going all over the place. And I started feeling nauseated. I started where I couldn't breathe again, and I ran to the restroom and I threw up. And when we left, when I got out of the restroom, I told my husband we had to just leave. We had to go. I was like in tears. And I was like, we had to go. I was freaking out. No reason. No, there was no danger in the store. That's how I felt. And I'm sure y'all have dealt with that before too. I've dealt with it so many times since then, but that was the first time it had ever happened in a store, you know, like that. Was there at the beginning. When I got home and was able to lay down on my couch and get the fan on my feet, weird but it's true, get the fan hitting my feet, you know, and everything, and I called one of my friends up, just started chit-chatting with them, and like I calmed down and everything was fine. But anyway, let me list you some more symptoms that I've felt that are just strange, and they're scary. But I've had the eye vision thing happen to me. I've actually had 3 times in the time that I've had my anxiety. I've had 3 times where my eyesight went completely, suddenly blind. I mean, like, it looked like as if somebody had put a curtain over my eyes, like a gray curtain is what it was like. And it was only like this whole eye and like half of this eye. Like I could still see from half of one eye. But the rest, it was as if a gray curtain had just been thrown right in front of my eyesight. And it was scary. That was scary. That happened 3 times to me already, just out of nowhere. Luckily, it hasn't happened like when I was driving or anything like that, but it happened, and that was scary, like terrifying. I never went to the ER or anything about it because I've read up that it could be the optical migraines or whatever. So, and I haven't had one again since the last time I had it. It was about, I want to say 3 years ago was the last time that happened to me. But there was that one, which is scary. Before that, I remember having muscle spasms, twitching in my muscles, various muscles. Like I had my my biceps were twitching for like a month straight, dude. It was horrible. And then same thing with like parts of my leg, or a muscle in my finger, or like a muscle, my eye would twitch. Oh my goodness, I felt crazy. And but it happened for in my symptoms. It's funny because when I get a new symptom, it usually lasts a month or a little bit longer than a month. But it's crazy, but it happens. And then I had the twitching, the spasms, the random numbness in my muscles, where, like, for instance, in the back of my calf, one of my calves on my right leg, my right leg calf, like the size, like this big, the size of like a softball, would just go numb out of nowhere. And what I mean by numb, I mean I could scratch my leg there and I would feel the scratching, but it's like the inside of it would go numb. I don't know how to explain it. And sometimes I call it numbish, because I get the numbish feeling too on my skin. I'll get it on my neck, or like part of my face, or like my arm, or just different parts of my skin will do that. And I'll get the burning sensations. I've had where it feels like it's on fire, like I don't know how to explain it, like burning sensation. I've also had the ice sensation, where it feels like ice cold little spikes of ice are going through my veins or something, or like on my skin or hitting my skin. I've had, of course, like my toes go numb or my fingers go numb, or my part of my face, my nose has gone numb, my mouth, I've actually had my left side, no joke, so directly down the middle, left side of my entire face, neck, arm go numb. That I went straight to the ER with that one, and that's happened to me about 3 or 4 times. And every time I go to the ER, they do EKG, whatever, and they tell me that I need to just calm down. And I'm like, really? It's just, you want to cry because you're like, what's wrong with me, you know? And anyway, those are more symptoms. I've had the dizzy spells, of course. I've actually had 2 where I'll be standing there and all of a sudden I'll break out in a sweat, like a cold sweat. You'll be able to do this and see wet, just wet, and I'll be in air condition, and then I'll start feeling like I want to faint, you know, or dizzy, or and I start shaking, you know. That's another symptom. Major one of mine is I tremble uncontrollably, and I mean, it's where I can't stop. I'm gonna imitate it right now, but it's like this, and my whole body will be doing this, and I can't stop it. It's like I have to let it just go through its course. I've actually had where, let me think, I've had so many symptoms, but a major one of mine, one that never goes away with me, I've had it 24/7 for a good 7 years now, is a depersonalization or derealization, or what I sometimes call dreamy state kind of thing, where it looks like I'm in a dream. Like even right now, it looks like I'm in a dream. I guess because I've had it for so long, I've gotten kind of used to it. I don't like it. I want clarity. I want clarity. I want to see clearly everything. I don't want it to look like a dream all the time, but it does. And that's something I deal with. Now the dreamy state thing will get real bad. When I'm really stressed out, the dreamy thing will get worse. I'll actually have where I won't remember what I did 2 minutes ago, or sorry, it's taken me a couple of days so I could finish this or whatever, but I was working and everything. Today's my first day off in 2 weeks, so but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the symptoms thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I made on the other video, all the symptoms I talked about. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that off, and post it, you know, so we'll have the complete symptoms list for me anyway. These are, of course, remember, these are the symptoms that I personally have gone through or felt in my time of having my anxiety, so I mean, everybody's different, so you know, everybody has different things that they feel. I've had a few friends that feel things that I've never felt, and then there's some that have never felt what I felt. So it depends on you and your chemical makeup on what exactly is going to happen to you physically when you're stressed out or have that high anxiety or depression, you know. But anyway, the last video it stopped at dream state, the dream state thing. I talked about that. I don't like the dream state thing, the not seeing things clearly, you know. Of course, everybody knows hyperventilation is another one of my symptoms, major one. The can't breathe thing, where I feel like I can't breathe, I can't take in a breath. I feel like if I try to breathe, like I feel like my throat is closing almost, or sometimes I feel like my lungs just aren't working. I know that sounds weird, but it feels like my lungs aren't working, and or if I start thinking that my lungs are just gonna stop. That's how it feels, like they're just stopping, like I can't feel them doing anything at all. I'm doing this. But like, you know how your lungs do this, but this is how I feel it, like in my chest. So anyway, then of course I have speaking of, well, I have a list, because the last video I made, the audio didn't come out. It was like not matching up with what I was saying at all for some reason. I recorded it, and this camera might be messing up on me. I really don't know. But anyway, so I had to listen to it and kind of write down what I had finished talking about. Made a list of the symptoms so that I wouldn't repeat myself from the first time. So I made the list, and that's what I'm gonna keep looking down or to the side to see what the next thing is. But anyway, yeah, the breathing thing. I actually had one time, one night, I dream constantly, and I'm always dreaming. I have vivid dreams, very detailed dreams, very long dreams. I'll have like, dude, I don't even know. I'll have from 2 to 10 different dreams a night, dude. I've had, like last night, for instance, I had probably 6 different dreams. Crazy. But it happens. And they're detailed dreams. They're very vivid and detailed. And there's color. And the smells, the feeling, everything is very real in my dreams. That's the way I dream. I always have. But anyway, one night, I ended up, I fell asleep, I went into a dream, whatever, and it was a dream that I had dealing with one of my best friends. Well, in my dream, I got like really, really, really upset. Like, I was trying to protect her, and like I couldn't protect her for some reason, and anyway, I basically went into a panic in my dream. And whenever I went into a panic in my dream, well, I guess I went into a panic in real life, and I was sleeping. Well, when you're sleeping, this is how I worked it out in my brain, logically speaking, realistically thinking of things, because I try to do that all the time, try to rationalize, try to be logical about things. I know when you're sleeping, your breathing slows down tremendously because your heart rate, everything goes to a minimum. Because you're resting, your body is healing itself. Well, and your body, your muscles, everything go into like a paralysis kind of state. Because that's how you sleep, so that we're not walking around doing things when we're supposed to be sleeping. But anyway, I guess when I went into a panic in my dream, and I went into a panic in real life, I woke up. When I woke up, I think I was still in that sleepiness stage, like my body was, and I could not breathe. I remember opening my eyes, and I was like, I couldn't even do like what I do when I'm hyperventilating. I was like, well, at least when I'm hyperventilating, I have shallow breaths. I'm doing that. But that night when I woke up, I could not breathe. And I remember I was able to rationalize and calm myself down. I was able to say, stop, be calm, and breathe. Do you know what I mean? And I started off taking little bitty breaths, small ones. And then it kind of gradually built up, and everything was fine. And, but I know that's happened to me, and I've talked to a few people in the past who that's happened to them as well. So that could easily be another thing dealing with anxiety too. The whole waking up in panic too, that's another thing. I've woken up in panic attacks before, or I've had where when I'm trying to fall asleep, it's the worst when I'm trying to fall asleep. My brain doesn't stop. I'm constantly, it's like I have to have something to distract my brain if I'm gonna fall asleep, because if not, I can't go do it. Like when I'm falling asleep, though, what I was saying, I've had where I jump up out of bed because like I'll feel a heart palpitation, or I'll feel something like my arm will go numb, and all of a sudden I'll think, oh my goodness, I'm having a heart attack, and I'll jump out of bed, literally jump out of bed. That has happened so many times. I remember one time I woke up because I swore both my arms and like all my upper body basically had gone numb, and which is weird. I don't know if it was real or if my body was falling asleep and I freaked out, or like if I was dreaming and maybe it really wasn't falling asleep. But I jumped out of bed, ran into my hallway, started running around like a crazy woman, and I remember my husband woke up, because I mean I was going crazy, woke up and was like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not okay," and I want to go to the ER, you know. And he was like, "Calm down, you were dreaming." And I was like, "No, I wasn't," you know, but I was, or something. It was nothing big, because I ended up going back to sleep and everything was fine. It's been months now and I'm good. I'm here, you know. Anyway, but stuff like that has happened to me more than once. Not that was just the most recent time that something crazy like that happened, but that's happened to me a few times over the years. The heart palpitations, as I mentioned before, I've had heart palpitations and I hate those. Those are like the worst thing ever. I've felt where it feels like a really strong thump all of a sudden, or like it'll feel like in the thump thing. It's happened before too with me, where I'll feel a really strong thump and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm gonna fall, like the off balance thing happens, or like I'm feel dizzy-ish. But I think that might be associated with the whole, because I felt the palpitation, I'm going into a panic, you know. I don't know, but that's usually that happens sometimes. But I've had the heart palpitations before, and I've had the heart palpitation thing periodically throughout every day for like a month straight, you know, and then it'll go away for a few months, and then it'll happen again for like a week, and then, you know, it's crazy. I don't like that. That's one of the symptoms I seriously hate. And then of course my muscle tension. I've had muscle tension all over. Today I'm having it all in my left. This is my left. Yes, my left side. Right here on this side of my neck, and right here in my jaw, and like, of course I'm thinking heart attack, you know, but no, it's just muscle tension. I can feel it. It's like just really, really tense, rough. And my upper back, especially my upper back, I get it there so bad. It's like an everyday thing. Of course, the nausea. Nausea is very common in people with anxiety. I've had that repeatedly, especially like in I've had stressful times where I'll have nausea every single morning when I wake up. Kind of like a morning sickness or something, but it's not, you know. But I'll have the nausea and the where I just really feel sick to my stomach really bad. And I've also had where of course there's I've had where my tongue goes numb, or actually it doesn't really go numb because I can still talk and stuff. It's just like the skin of it goes numb. Or I've had where I've had the flashes in my eyesight, of course. I've had where it feels like there's like something inside my throat, like wrapped around it or something down here, or like there's a lump in there. I've had stinging kind of feelings in my chest, like on the skin or something. Different parts of my skin, it'll feel like stingy. I don't know how to explain it. Of course, I've had chest pains. I've had abdominal pain. I've had extreme abdominal pain to the point where it's almost like really bad hunger pains. And what ends up happening is like there's been a few times, like 3 times or so, 3 or 4 times, where I've actually woken up because of how bad it hurts. Like I'm in so much pain, even though I ate before bed. Like I'll wake up and be in a lot of pain. Like I'll be scrunched up in a ball, and I literally, like, as if I was in a movie or something, I don't know, but like I would literally be crawling, dragging my body dragging myself to the kitchen to get me a piece of toast, you know, because it'll make me feel better for some reason. And I'm not really hungry. It's just, it happens. I don't know why. And then I have, of course, with the hyperventilation thing, I'll have where my fingers and my hands and stuff will stiffen up, and I'll be like, I can't bend them, or they'll do this, and like everything will start turning in, my arms and stuff. I've also had where of course, there's the racing thoughts. the racing thoughts that don't stop. I have those thoughts, the thoughts of death, constantly, constant thoughts of death, or like that I'm about to die, like I'm about to die of a heart attack, or I'm about to die of a blood clot, or I'm about to die of some kind of an aneurysm, or like a anything. And any little thing that I feel, any little twinge, any little pain, any little anything at all makes me think horrific thoughts. For instance, earlier today, I had a little headache, you know, and it was bothering me, you know, and stuff. And of course, I was trying to be logical and thinking, well, it's the weather change, or, you know, whatever. But I started thinking I was going to have an aneurysm, or that it was a sign of, like, I was about to have a stroke or a heart attack, or and then of course my pain, the tension in my neck and jaw didn't help that thought at all. And then that's what happens to me. Like, I can't ever think anything simple. Like, my finger can go numb. I think, oh my gosh, I'm about to have a heart attack because my finger went numb. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I know in my heart of hearts that it's not really, that's not really gonna happen. But I get so scared, you know, it's so scary. And I want to cry. I can't. It's so darn scary, dude. I can't. Those symptoms are real because they're really happening, but they're not. What's making them happen isn't a real problem. It is a problem, but what's making them happen is stress. What's making them happen is the brain. Like, I can't handle my stress, so I'm you know, all these physical things are happening. But anyway, the racing thoughts are bad because I'll have them nonstop. I can't even sleep at night. I have insomnia so bad. I do not sleep well. I sleep between an average of 3 to 4 hours a night, and that's broken sleep. That means I wake up, like, I'll go to sleep for 30 minutes, wake up for an hour, go to sleep for an hour, wake up for another 30 minutes, you know, stuff like that. And some nights I'll only get 1 hour of sleep or 2. And then some nights I'll actually sleep 5 hours straight, but that's so rare. That's like once every 2 months or something. And that's another problem I have, is the sleeping thing. I can't sleep, and this has been going on for years. The sleeping thing, I hate it. I want to sleep. I long for sleep. Like, if anybody could give me something, I want sleep. I want to be able to go run away somewhere for like a week and just sleep for like days, you know, and then relax for the remainder days, you know. It's just, oh, I want to do that so bad. You have no idea. Oh my goodness, I want to so bad. I should make a retreat just for anxiety sufferers. Anyway, and then, okay, the racing thoughts. This is something I don't tell people because I don't want to get thrown into a loony bin. I mean, sometimes I want to get thrown into one because I feel like it might help me, but then I really don't, you know. But this is something that I feel like I can talk to y'all about, hopefully. But this is something that me and two people I know that have anxiety actually deal with this too. They just never talk about it because they think they're going crazy or that somebody's gonna throw them in the loony bin. So I figured I would talk about it. Hallucinations. How would I say about this? I get these when I'm really, 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 really stressed out. Like when I'm going through extreme stress. Not all the time. It's only when I'm going through extreme stress and extreme depression or extreme just issues, you know, with my anxiety and stuff. I'll start seeing things. Like, I'll see something or someone standing in the corner, like a dark figure, you know, or I'll be trying to go to sleep and I'll see figures Or one time I actually saw, I know my imagination is just wild, I know that's part of it, but one time I was laying down and I saw this creature. Okay, I feel like y'all are gonna think I'm crazy. But I saw this creature, huge, like taller than my door, walk by, like a demon, I guess, and it had long arms with claws, and it was just really weird. I've actually had before too, where I've believed that, of course, these things happen, and I know they're not real. You know, that's the difference between insanity and insanity, is that I know they're not real. I know it's not there, and I'll just close my eyes, shake my head, and it'll go away. You know, I will say when I was younger, I used to see ghosts. I know some people will try to say that that's, you know, that you're crazy, that ghosts don't exist, but they do exist, because it wasn't only me who would see them. So that proves that wasn't all in my head. But these things I'm talking about do happen whenever, you know, oh my goodness, happen whenever I'm really, really, really stressed. I'm gonna finish what I was saying. Like one time I was laying down, and I've actually had where I truly believe something bad's about to happen. You know, that impending doom, you know, we all get that feeling that something bad's about to happen. I'm getting this feeling, you know, or if somebody tries to try to say, somebody calls me and they're like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, why? Did you get a feeling? You know what I mean? And I start freaking out. But anyway, what I was trying to say, see, my mind's all over the place. It's part of anxiety. I know it is. But I would be laying down, and I would seriously think that, like, one night, it was about a year ago, there was a night where I was laying down in bed, and I just got really scared. Don't know why. I was laying there in the dark. Everybody was asleep. Worst time in the world for me. And they thought, I don't know what I thought. I thought that that something was gonna get me. I know I'm old. I'm older. I'm not a child anymore. But I'm just saying, I had gotten really scared, and I was laying there, and I had closed my eyes. And then I was afraid to open my eyes, because I swore that something was going to be right here in my face, staring right back at me if I opened my eyes. So I just kept them closed, and I was praying, because that's how I felt. That only lasted for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, oh, come on. You know, and everything was fine. Like I said, I know that the things aren't real, you know, but this does happen. It's happened to me. It only happens when I'm really, really stressed out, but it happens to everybody in my family. So I think it's like a hereditary thing. Like all my cousins and my uncles have opened up and told me, yeah, that happens to me too, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know. And and like my niece, you know, she has issues right now too. She's doing better now. They have her on medication, but she was seeing things and hearing things and stuff, because she was really, really, really stressed out, you know, and with school, and she was being bullied and stuff. So so she started, like, but she went, like, she was believing everything, and so they had to try to help her and calm her down and teach her how to cope, you know, with stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'm not crazy, and I can function as a normal human being, and I'm not going to go hurting nobody. This has happened all my life, you know, and it's happened all my life, and I am 35 years old, you know, and everything's, you know, I don't know how to explain it. Everything's good, you know. I'm fine. I'm happy. It doesn't happen to me a lot. It doesn't happen to me when I'm walking around outside or anything like that. It's just like at night, or like when I'm like thinking, I guess, when the stress really has time to settle down on me. Okay, now that, you know, I think I might post something for Halloween dealing with ghosts and stuff that I've little stuff that I've actually dealt with since when I was a kid and everything, and growing up. But anyway, sorry. Now, I did want to say this, that's my list. These are the things that I personally have dealt with. Oh, wait. There is one more. I have a sensitivity. Like when there's sometimes, not all the time. Like right now I'm okay. But like, there's times too, dealing with my anxiety when I'm having stress or whatever, that I'll be super sensitive to light and to sound. I don't know why, but certain lights, like hitting me in certain ways, or like if I walk into a room that's really bright, or like when I walk outside from darkness or whatever, or let's say I hear a loud noise, or too many noises going on at once, or just stuff like that, different things like that, depending if my anxiety's high. Oh my goodness, I have to get away, or I have to close my eyes, or I have to whatever, because it will actually cause me to go into a major panic attack. And I don't know why. It's almost like I'm like, whoa, I can't, it's like I can't function, I can't think, I can't, nothing, so I have to like stop and be like, oh my god, I've had to turn off the radio or tell my children to be quiet for a minute. It only takes a few seconds and I'm okay, but that does happen to me, and it's kind of scary, but it's part of anxiety too, because I've talked to a few people actually who have had this same issue with the sensitivity to light or sensitivity to sound. But another thing, I'm always doing this. I'm always checking my pulse. It's a habit of mine, and because I'm always wondering if my heart's beating properly or whatever. I'm always feeling my head. I used to carry around thermometers in my purse, like more than one, because I wanted to know what my true temperature was. And the temperature thing too, I've had that. My temperature right now regularly is like 96.4, and then sometimes it'll be like 99.6, whatever. And but that's part of the anxiety thing too. But the symptoms of anxiety are extensive, dude. There's so many other symptoms. These are just the ones that I personally have dealt with, the ones that I personally have experienced. The extension, oh my goodness, the extensive list. There actually is no extensive list, because of how crazy the symptoms can get when it comes to anxiety and depression and stress. And I've seen a really good list, big list, and I've probably named about between 1/4 to 1/3 of what's on that list. So like, there's so many things that anxiety and depression and stress can really cause, and it's nothing life-threatening. It's just super scary, and I know that it is, but you're not alone. You are not alone. Believe me, you're not alone. I remember for so many years I felt so alone, and it made things so much scarier, because you don't know what's going on with you, and